Hello everyone, you're welcome to today's tutorial. So we are still on the continuation of our circle skirt series. Last time we looked at the full circle, which is the same thing as 360 degrees. Today we'll be looking at the half circle, which is the same thing as 180 degrees. So I'll be showing you how to go about the half circle. And let me even tell you that there are two ways to go about this half circle to achieve two different objectives. One of the ways is the one I'm going to start with. So before we start, I would like to tell you that we'll be using two measurements for this tutorial, which are the waist measurement and the length of the skirt, whatever you intend to achieve, the length of it. Then you add the seam allowance. As we proceed, you understand better. So here we go. We're going to start with our waist measurement. I'm working with a waist measurement of 30 inches. You say 30 divided by 3.14. 3.14 is the standard for half circle. 3.14. So 30 divided by 3.14, I've done my own calculation, is 9.55, which you can approximate it to 9.6 inches. 9.6 inches. So the length I'm working with is 20 inches. So I'll be adding half inch hemming allowance to it, which will now give it make it 20.5 in total. But if you want to add 1 inch to your own length as your own hemming allowance, you can do so. It's still okay. So here we go. 28 plus 2 inches zipper allowance is 30 inches. 30 divided by 3.14 is 30 divided by 3.14 is 9.55, approximate it to 9.6 inches. So you take your tape and go about it this way. 9.6 inches. My pattern paper is small, so I'll assume that 9.6 inches is 1 inch. So from the edge of the paper, you mark it down 1 inch. You continue to mark a 1 inch all around. 1 inch. As you can see, it's similar to the full circle, but there is a difference. Just stay with me. Okay, you continue all the way around, and then you join the dots like this. You can use your ruler if you cannot use your hand to do it. Then the length of 20 inches plus half inch hemming allowance. From this line that I just joined, this curved line, you place your tape and you measure. For the size of my own paper, I'm going to assume that the 20.5 inches is 4 inches. I'm just assuming because of the size of my own pattern paper. So the 4 inches, I'm marking it like this. As you can see, I'll keep marking all around. I'll keep marking like this. I'm marking like this. I'm marking like this. I'm marking like this all round. Then I can decide to use my hand to join all the dots together, or I can use my curved ruler. Since I have my curved ruler, I can just make my work easier by using my curved ruler to do the joining. Okay, I'm joining now together. You try and make sure that at least 3 dots are connected once to give you that nice curve. All right, so this is it for me. This is the length, this is the waist, this is the length. From here to here is the 20.5 inches, your length plus the half-inch hemming allowance. So at the waist point here, you're going to add your sewing allowance of half of an inch. Some people can as well work with quarter of an inch, but I feel more comfortable working with half of an inch. So I'm adding my half-inch sewing allowance. You can call it seam allowance, it's the same thing. Okay, so I'm adding my seam allowance. So I've connected all the dots like this. So here is my seam allowance or my sewing allowance. All right, so I'm done with drafting of the paper. Remember, in this pattern now, you included your zipper allowance of 2 inches, 1 inch for one side, 1 inch for the other side. So now I'm cutting my pattern. Watch me and see what I'm doing. See where I'm cutting. Okay, I've cut the waist part of it. Now I'm cutting the hem. I'm cutting the hem. All right. Okay. All right. So I'm through now with the pattern. So I will show you now how to go about placing it on your fabric. So now we'll just assume this is your fabric like this. In this case, you're going to fold it just once, not twice like the previous tutorial of full circle. Half circle, you're folding once, just like this. You fold it once like this. So now you bring your pattern paper like this and you place it here. All right, you notice that this side is there is no opening here. You notice that there is an opening this way, so you must make sure that both side aligns. Okay, here aligns to this side and this side aligns to this side. Okay, unfortunately my assumed fabric is not wide enough for me to cut this way for you to see how I'm cutting the hem side of it, but I'll still make you understand. So here now you cut at the seam allowance. All right, so let's assume it was wide enough, so here you just cut at the hem. So you see that it's just once folding, not double like the 360 degree. All right, so you take out your pattern. This is it here. This is it. This is it. This is where you're going to fix your zipper at the back. So you're going to fix your zipper right here at the back. So here now, my pattern was not wide enough for me to show you how to cut the hem, but I will just assume that this is it. Okay, so this is what it will look like. It's going to look like this. By the time you fix your zip at the back here, you put down at least like 7 inches for your zip allowance, then you sew the rest down. So this is the waist. This is the waist here. This is where you fix your band. You sew your band to it, and there you have it, your skirt, your half circle skirt. This is it. This is what it will look like, half circle. It's not as full as the 360. That one will give you more fullness compared to this one. So this is it, guys. This is your 180 degree. So in our next tutorial, I will show you how to go about the 90 degrees. Yes, I remember saying that I'm going to show you two methods of cutting this 180 degrees to achieve two different objectives. Okay, here for this method you cannot achieve this very long floor length flare skirt. You can call it the maxi skirt. With this method you cannot achieve it. You can only achieve maybe like a knee length, you know, because of the length of fabric we have in the market is always by 60, so you cannot achieve that method. So the other method I want to do now is the other one, which I will show you the picture in my video to make it easier for you to understand. So the other method, this is it, how you go about it. we assume that this method you mostly cut it on your fabric direct, not on pattern paper. So here, how you calculate your waist plus your 2 inches allowance is 30 inches. 30 inches divided by 3.14 is 9.6 inches. 9.6 inches. So this 9.6 inches, you add your length to it. 9.6 plus 20 inches, plus 20 inches, plus your hemming allowance of half of an inch. You join everything together, it will give you 30.1 inches. 30.1 inches. I've done my own math. The 30 divided by 3.14 is equals to 9.55, approximately 9.6 inches. You add your length to it, your length plus your hemming allowance to it. I've added everything now. Mine is 30.1 inches. So here, in this method, you cut it directly on your fabric. So this is your fabric this way. How to know what to fold? This 30.1 inches that I just calculated now, you measure it this way. You fold with it, then you measure from this place down to have your 30.1 inches. Once you be able to achieve that 30.1 inches like this, you can do it this way. You measure from the beginning of your fabric. 30.1 inches, for example, is here. Then at that point, like this, you fold, because you don't want to waste fabric. You fold. Once you have folded to your 30.1 inches, then from here you bring this place, you bring this line to this line. Okay. Can you see what I'm doing? Can you see what I'm doing? I brought this line to this line. Okay. Okay. You brought it to this line. So now, what you do now is, you see that 9.6 inches we used earlier on. Where's my pencil? Now 9.6 inches. So from here you measure your 9.6 inches. 9.6 inches. You measure 9.6 inches. You measure 9.6 inches, and you get your curved line. You get your curved line. Let's say this is your curved line like this. So from this curved line, your 20 inches plus half inch hemming allowance, let's say is 15 here. Let's assume it's 15 because of the size of my tutor. You mark from here again. You mark from here again. You mark, like you mark all round, and you now connect all the dots together. You come back to the waist here and add your half inch sewing allowance, half inch sewing allowance, half inch sewing allowance, half inch sewing allowance. So here is where you cut out, and you cut here. By the time you open it, you have your maxi skirt. Let's say it. Let me use my paper to illustrate. So by the time you open it up, you have your full maxi skirt that is sweeping the floor. If you want it to sweep the floor and it will look so beautiful, you have it. So that is it, guys. If you have any question, can leave it in the comment section, which I will try and attend to it. In our next tutorial, we'll be looking at the 90 degrees, how to go about it. It's so easy. So thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.